Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, Pattsun, and today we're gonna be taking a look at r/Am I Wrong, where OP's ex-girlfriend is now so upset that he refused to take her back after she cheated on him with his friend. Let's begin. My wife is moving in with her affair partner. They're in love. Posted by Reddit user OtherSalt.
My life has been reduced to a trashy daytime talk show. The woman who was once my wife, who I considered a classy woman, has turned into complete trailer trash. Today she announced that she's moving in with her affair partner from the gym. She's pregnant, might be his kid, might be mine. She's too embarrassed to go get blood drawn for a paternity test. She spent about a week trying to get my attention, to get me to talk to her, to get me to beg her to be mine. I didn't fall for any of it. I've largely been ignoring her, and when we have to speak, I keep it very brief. We've been living together this whole time, but I'm in a different room now and functioning separate from her in all ways. So her pouting and trying to get me to pay attention to her and give her a gold star for not going to the gym for 5 days in a row didn't work. Today she texted me to say she is moving in with him. Somehow I still care about this person. I've already met with a lawyer though. I can care for her as a human being and possible mother of my child without being married to her. Still, it stung to hear her say she was going to be with him. I told her it wasn't a smart move to leave the house. I've even told her she should probably meet with a lawyer. She doesn't care about anything I have to say. I don't think she needs to move in with anybody. I actually feel bad for her that she can't just be on her own. I asked her if he actually knew she was pregnant and wanted to know what story she's been telling him this whole time. She said he knows and he doesn't care if it's my baby. He loves her and wants to be with her. Bizarre. You can't find anyone else. Somebody who isn't a married, pregnant woman. Why would you take that on? Doesn't make sense to me. He's scum, but he's good-looking scum who apparently is gainfully employed and owns his own home. So you can't tell me that my married, pregnant wife is your only option here. I just can't imagine being a single guy like that and wanting to put up with this baggage when I could have other options. And if this really is my baby, then what? They'll live with my wife and this weasel 50% of the time. I don't know how my life turned into this mess, and she thinks it's embarrassing to have to go get blood drawn.
OP, you still care for her as a human being, right? So why not help her out and pack all of her things and leave it outside? So her new boyfriend could easily take her stuff to his so-called house. Oh, and don't even think of giving her anything for the pregnancy until you are 100% sure the kid is yours. Other than that, let the new guy provide her with everything. Let's see how well that goes for her. And now for today's second story. My ex-girlfriend now regrets dumping me after years, so I laughed and told her to fuck off. Posted by Reddit user Wheel Tiger.
So I have an ex-girlfriend who after years is now begging for me to take her back. We started dating in college and back then I was pretty awkward, but I did love her very much. I always went above and beyond for her as much as I could. Even as a broke college student, I would give her my last just to make her happy. I thought we would last forever honestly. Well, long story short, she cheated on me and slept with an old friend of mine. The breakup messed me up pretty bad. So I put a pause on dating and I found peace investing my time into other things like my tech career, hobbies, and other stuff like that. Now years later, she's begging me to get back together after she cheated on me. She ran into me one day. She said that she wanted to catch up and told me how she regretted it all and regrets how everything happened. I laughed at this and told her to fuck off. I said that I was not interested in catching up and that I had to go. Well, now she's blowing up my Instagram and Facebook sending me paragraphs about how I laughed at her love for me. She says she misses us. My buddies keep telling me I should just take her back and start a family like how I've wanted while I'm still in my early 30s since I'm getting older. But the way I see it at this point in my life, I'd rather be alone than to be in bad company. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to finally start a family of my own, but I don't want to do that with the wrong woman. They think I'm an asshole for not forgiving her because the clock for me to have a family is ticking. Am I wrong? And now, for OP's update. I posted on a few different communities and there were varying responses, so I figured I would just respond with a post for those who might have been interested. Some asked if my friends knew. My friends didn't know the whole story about her cheating and such. I didn't get into all the details with them other than how she's on social media now. They were telling me to just take her back because they know I haven't been in a relationship since I've known them. They are family men themselves and I'm the only single man. I will admit, it is true that this woman was my last real relationship. I've only had casual relationships since, but nothing long-term, and even that I don't do anymore. Some said to just find someone new, get back into the dating scene, and look for someone who shares my desire for family. I would try and put myself out there, but I wouldn't know where to start with finding a committed relationship and dating since it's been so long. I guess you could say I've gotten a bit complacent with being single, even though I do want a family. I've invested time into pretty much every other aspect of my life except for the relationship department, and the idea of getting invested and being fucked over again scares me. Plus, I wouldn't know how to be in a relationship if I'm being honest. I realize I probably do have things I could work on in that regard. So for now, it's probably best I just stay single until I fix these issues. Regarding the clock thing, it's less about a biological clock and more about a personal clock for me. I always wanted to have a family young. I'm now 31, pushing 32. I wanted to be around for my kids' lives as long as possible, as both of my parents had me not so young and have both passed on. I'm just accepting maybe this isn't in the cards for me, but I appreciate the responses. They were helpful and got me thinking.
OP, you are correct. You should never take her back. I mean, why the hell would anyone take back a cheater and a liar? OP, you need to listen to me. First, work on yourself. Once you have a better understanding of how your mind works through therapy, it will help you make better decisions dating-wise. Also, you need to tell your friends the truth. Otherwise, they will just keep hounding you about this issue. And if they still believe that you should take her back after knowing that she cheated, then maybe you can tell them to fuck off too. And now for today's final story. My wife and friend flirted while drunk in front of me and his wife. Posted by Reddit user Brian CP.
My wife and I have been married for almost 13 years and together for 15. We met in college and now have a great life with 3 beautiful boys, a home in the suburbs, our own rental properties, and we are close to opening a business. We have a group of friends who we hang out with and have game nights regularly, all married. When my wife drinks, she is mean to others in a funny way, including me. I don't mind it because I am mean as well and we joke around and have a good time. After drinking, we have the most amazing sex. Recently, she has been very flirty with a friend who is about 10 years older. I really liked him, and I thought my wife wouldn't be doing more than light flirting.
By the end of this, you are going to be crying like a little bitch.
He started reciprocating the flirting when his wife wasn't around, and I mentioned it to my wife and she said she was just trying to be nice, and she couldn't remember very well how the interaction was. Last month I lost my job and her sister came to visit for a long time. I normally can handle her sister and 5 kids, but getting fired around the holidays and having so many kids around really took a toll on our marriage. We fought so much and were miserable. Intimacy dropped and my wife would barely touch me and kiss me. Sex was vanilla missionary and she acted like it was more like a chore. Anyways, going back to the main story. We were on a game night a month ago and I got mad she was flirty with my friend while with me. She had no intentions to initiate anything. I spoke with her and got mad at her and we cried, and she promised she would be better at setting boundaries, even when drunk. Sex life changed. We started being affectionate again and I thought things were going back to normal. Then a few weeks passed and we had another game night at our house. My friend's wife was there and everything seemed normal, until I noticed my wife, drunk at this point, was smiling at my friend. I moved my chair back a little and noticed both their feet scooted back rapidly as if they were touching and didn't want me to see it. I pulled my phone and started recording under the table secretly, then went to the bathroom after a while to see the video, and what I saw really disgusted me. My wife and this guy were playing footsie. Their toes were intertwined for a bit. She also rubbed his shins up and down in a very seductive way. I had my wife come to our bedroom where I confronted her and she cried. I went out and told everyone that we had to call it a night. I showed her the video and she was crying. I was crying. It was an awful night.
Wow, like a bitch.
And that's what Frieza said.
After a while of crying and hugging, we were both still a bit tipsy and we had sex, not my proudest moment. She kept crying and saying she was drunk, and she didn't mean anything. She said she would stop anything from happening and wouldn't let it escalate any further. She said while being drunk she just liked the attention and made her feel young again. It really broke me to see her crying and I told her I forgave her and we could move on. At the time I felt like I was ready to move on, but the next day it hit me harder and we had another talk and she said she felt horribly bad for what she did and how she made me feel. I texted this guy and sent him the video and told him that it was not okay to flirt with your friend's wife like that, and that I don't want to continue a friendship with him and I am ready to cut him out of my life. He apologized and explained that his marriage is really rocky right now and he hasn't had any affection from his wife for months, and that while being drunk it felt nice to feel some kind of affection and feel wanted. I believe him and know of his marital issues, but it is no excuse to do this. I texted this guy back that I understood his marriage was rocky and he was drunk, but I still don't know if I can continue being friends with someone like this. Should I seek therapy? Should I separate for a bit? Should I cut ties with this guy? I am so conflicted and don't know what to do. Am I exaggerating for feeling this way? She didn't cheat, but it still hurts as fuck, especially because it was with my friend. And now, for OP's update. Wow, this blew up. Thank you everyone for the comments and suggestions. I need help and to wake the fuck up. I am way too nice and my people-pleasing bullshit is affecting my life. I had a chat with my wife, no crying, just words. She is aware of how she made me feel and how much it hurt. She would be livid if I had done this with her friends. She would not take this kindly or lightly. She would drag me through the ground. We agree that we can longer do game nights and drinking until we fix our shit through therapy. We can no longer have this guy around and we cannot hang out with him. Communication is off limits and we cannot or will not go back on this. This is rough because he is around when we get together with friends and their kids, who happens to be our kids' best friends. I know that down the road we will see him and be in parties where he is around, but until we fix our shit and work on ourselves, we cannot have that. His wife is leaving him in a month or so to go back to their home country and he will be remaining here. She keeps saying she will stay there and they will part ways. Their marriage is really rocky, believe me. I have seen it firsthand and that is not going to last long. It is at a breaking point. The video is not going to persuade her any harder to leave him. He has already cheated in the past and yet, she is still around. I have known my wife for many years and I know we are both struggling with life and fighting our own battles. Middle age is coming and we have way too much on our plates with kids, businesses, work, etc. I have chosen to forgive her, but if anything happens again like this, I am out. One of the comments here made me think I should change my perspective a little. I cherish and respect myself more than I cherish a relationship. Thanks everyone for helping me cope with this.
Oh, you have got to be kidding me. OP, you fucking donut. You absolute buffoon. You're actually staying with her. With a drunk that can't control herself and a confirmed cheater. Yes, confirmed. Why the hell would you even think that she's not? She was literally trying to fuck this guy, another confirmed cheater, right in front of you. Well, this is your life. This is your choice to make. So what I will do is just look out for your next update, where you are explaining to us how exactly this decision ruined your already pathetic existence. Good luck, Simp Lord. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.